Today we're going to look at multi-paragraph essays, the introductory paragraph. We're only going to focus right now on the attention grabbers. Many students struggle with how to start off their paragraphs. I'm going to give you a few creative ways to spice up your writing. The first way to do that is through quotes. Writers often begin an essay by quoting the exact words that someone has said. Make sure you are careful, as quotes should be brief, related to your topic, and should be from someone noteworthy. Your brother simply saying hi is not the kind of quote you're going to get your reader's attention with. For example, Bill Cowher, the gruff ex-coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, once said, "Adversity does not build character, it reveals it. And last year's soccer season was a true test of my character." So as you can see, this quote directs your attention, and it also goes along with the topic. So we're talking about sports and adversity, we're talking about building character. That's what our paragraph is going to be about. Who would you want to quote if you were writing about a movie? Wouldn't be your mom, wouldn't be your brother. It needs to be maybe an actor, actress, a producer, a critic. Who would you want to quote if your paper was about politics or history? Do not start your essay with dialogue. What's the difference between dialogue and a quote? Dialogue is a conversation that goes back and forth. "Hi, how are you?" "I'm doing well, thank you for asking." A quote is a meaningful statement made by someone of importance. "What would you like on your pizza?" my mom asked. "Sausage and mushrooms, please," I responded enthusiastically. "Great," Mom replied, would be an example of dialogue. Comma quotes. "Adversity does not build character, it reveals it, comma, end quote." Bill Cowher, the ex-coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, once said, comma, "Adversity does not build character, it reveals it." So please make sure that you are punctuating these quotes in the correct way. The next sentence starter or attention grabber is going to be a lively description. This is where a writer sometimes can use descriptive words to give the reader a clear picture of what will come later in the piece. For example, "As we walked along the banks of the Allegheny River, the cold wind bit at our noses, and wafts of pierogies and sweet onions grilling in the parking lots near us let us know that it was definitely a Steelers Sunday in Pittsburgh." So take a look at all of those descriptions in there. You can feel how cold it is, you can smell the smells, you can see the sights, you know we're at a river. This is a lively description. Add lively description to your piece by taking a person, place, or thing that your essay is about and describe every detail of it. Use the 5 senses: smell, taste, feel, sight, and hear. Figurative language also helps with this. Make your reader feel as though they are inside your head. The next attention grabber is a teaser. Some openers tease the readers into wondering what has happened or what will happen. "The house was pitch black except for the light of the moon that filtered in through the windows caked with centuries of dust and grime. The wind howled like a wolf on the night of a full moon, making this creepy, desolate house seem even creepier. Suddenly I heard footsteps coming from the stairs, and I dove into the shadows in the corner of the room to wait for my fate to come." So this would be an example of a teaser. This is the first sentence to start off an essay, maybe a short story. Your reader's going to want to read on. What's going to happen next? Why is this happening? Where is this person? Make sure you stay away from asking a question. as a way of teasing the reader. As the wind whipped frantically, the football team wasn't sure they'd be able to make it safely. What do you think will happen next? That's kind of a corny way, and it gets a little bit boring, so you want to avoid asking questions as your attention grabber. These questions are unnecessary, and we're already interested in what you have to say before that, so don't end it with a question. Another example would be, unfortunately, the daylight hours diminished and left behind the fresh breeze and stillness of nighttime. So again, another lively description. Your turn. Write a teaser about a sporting event. You pick the sport. An unusual fact. This will be our next attention grabber. These openers will often wow the reader with new and interesting information. For example, according to a recent Pittsburgh Post-Gazette article, Norway recently knighted a king penguin named Niels Olav to serve as the mascot of the King's Guard. The first mascot penguin was chosen in 1972 and named after then King Olav V, and the tradition has continued ever since. So here we have an unusual fact people may not be familiar with, but it has your attention. You're interested. Do not ask rhetorical questions. Notice that I did not teach you the dreaded rhetorical question that can be used as a hook. This is off limits. Do not use a question. A rhetorical question is a figure of speech in the form of a question that's asked in order to make a point rather than to get an answer. Who knows? Don't you agree? Okay. Why not? These are questions that you should never, ever use in effective writing. Make sure that your fact is true and can be verified. It must also be relevant to your writing piece. So if we go back to the penguin example, you wouldn't use that if you were writing a history paper on anyone other than that king. This needs to be relevant to your topic, and it must be true. Telling your reader a fact about the age of the roller coasters at Six Flags is interesting, but only if your paper is about roller coasters or amusement parks. Get it? Let's think. What kind of interesting facts could you write about if your topic was cooking? Another way to grab your reader's attention is with an anecdote. An anecdote is a short story that is related to the topic that you will be discussing in your paper. For example, while driving home through downtown Pittsburgh a few years ago, I noticed several young boys decked out in Penguins gear camped out on the side of the road near Mellon Arena. All of a sudden, they grabbed their albums of hockey cars and bolted towards the shiny silver Range Rover behind me. The boys stood eager as the car's tinted window rolled down to reveal Penguin superstar Sidney Crosby. So clearly, this paper is going to be about maybe the Penguins, Sidney Crosby, his recent fame. But this short story, it's personal, it's grabbing your attention, and it's related to my topic. You want to use only the facts, so your anecdote or your short story needs to be short, sweet, and to the point. You wouldn't want to drag this out telling me every detail. Notice how mine was very short and to the point. What kind of anecdote would you tell if you were writing an essay about the first day of school? Let's recap the introductory paragraph. Today we went over the hook, or the attention grabber, which grabs your reader's attention. From there, you will use bridge sentences, which will give a tiny bit of detail, as well as begin to narrow down your topic to where you will begin to mention it for the first time. And the last sentence of your introductory paragraph should be the thesis statement. This states the main idea of your essay. We'll work on thesis statements during the next session.